Namaste. So dear learner, today we will discuss two important concepts in philosophy of education, naturalism and humanism. They are quite similar, but there are some differences. We will try to understand. What we will do, we will first explain what is naturalism and then what is humanism, what are their implications for education, and how what are the basic assumptions and principles inbuilt in naturalism and humanism. So, as you know, these are the two school of thought. Both have a huge implication for education. So let us start with naturalism, and we will try to understand that how it was conceptualized in the course of history. Naturalism asserting that all things and occurrence in the universe are natural, whatever their essential character may be. And naturalism also focus on that nature and God are two different things. This is a philosophical doctrine that links scientific technique to philosophy by stating that all things and occurrence in the universe, regardless of their inherent characters, are natural. And we have to have respect it. We have to have respect in all domain of life, including education, that all knowledge of cosmos fall under the purview of scientific inquiry. That is the one of other premise that naturalism help us. Naturalism suggests us that how to consider any form of experience as knowledge. Naturalism also believe that nothing exists beyond natural world. So whatever you can see, whatever you can experience, that is a kind of a form of naturalism. So before proceeding further, let us see how Britannica Encyclopedia explain naturalism. So here you can see that the way Britannica Encyclopedia present, naturalism is a philosophy, a theory that relates scientific method to philosophy by affirming that all beings and event in the universe, whatever inherent character may be, as we also discussed in little while ago, that are natural. Consequently, all knowledge of the universe fall in the pale of scientific investigation. What does it mean? Whatever you call knowledge, that can be understand, that can be investigate, that can be inquiry through the scientific method. Although naturalism deny the existence of truly supernatural reality, any form of God, the way we think, but nature itself is supernatural. It make allowance to the supernatural, provide that the knowledge of it can be had indirectly. That is, that natural object be influenced by the so-called supernatural entity in a detectable way. You can detect. It's not that you can't detect. The sum of religion as suggests that we can't detect God, we can't find God. But here in naturalism, we understand that whatever the supernatural entity also can be detectable. So this is the form of naturalism. We will certainly like to understand what are the basic assumptions of naturalism and education. So based on assumptions that nature represents the wholeness of the reality, that is the one, basic assumption, that any form of, you just observe nature and you can find that whatever the reality is, you feel nature. Nature never restricted to the plant and vegetable that are surrounded around us, but nature is much more bigger than the mere vegetable and plants that we observe around us. And then we should also understand that one of the key stress of naturalism is that nature and God are two different ideas. Nature is verifiable. You can verify nature. You can observe nature. You can feel nature. You can investigate to understand nature's reality. But in case of God, probably it is not, which is more close to belief. So naturalist philosophy and naturalist philosopher always stress on nature, and nature that is different from God. Ultimate reality lies in the nature of the matter. I mean, whatever you can touch, I mean, you can, even if you work, whatever you can feel, even in Indian tradition, we always referring to Panch Tattva, and eventually, I mean, this Tattva are various other kind, but the Panch Tattva, that is the one of the great reality, that is the matter of nature. This whole universe, and another principle that naturalism is stress on, this whole universe is governed by the law of nature. I mean, whatever the law, I mean, there are multiple, I mean, you can always found there are so many law that are visible in the nature. For example, in certain season, there could be a rain, there could be a heat. If sun rise, then you automatically feel another kind of experience. When sun set, after sunset, you feel another kind of experience. So this whole universe is governed by the law of nature. I mean, this law of nature is simple. Of course, it's not very simplistic, but it's the simple. However, there are much more nuances. There are ultimate things that are involved in nature, and these natures are governed. I mean, the way Earth is rotate, the way Earth circled around Sun, the way Moon circle around Earth. So all things, even the way plant grow, the way child take birth, the way child learn, all things have certain law. That law are inbuilt in the nature. So education must conform to the natural process of the growth and mental development. Education is a process of development of naturalistic life. That are the two, I mean, major takeaway for education. That one is that there are some natural process. The way child grow, he or she required certain kind of emotional support. So emotion, the kind of emotional support, the overall growth is not restricted to the one side growth of the cognitive rote memorization kind of the thing, but it's required the overall growth. Then the education is a process of development of naturalistic life. We can also see that how it's, what are the others? I mean, the one of the key, as we discussed, that naturalist philosopher follow nature in education, and they stress that we need to appreciate nature and all education to be coherence with the nature of child. Now, what is the nature of child? Child is curious, that is the nature of child. Child hate rote memorization, that is the nature of child. Child hate being rude by the people around her or him. So this is the nature of child. So if you want to create a naturalist environment of children education, you have to have understand child nature. Again, the naturalist philosopher have very high level of appreciation for freedom and central position for child teaching learning process. We will explain it little later, and what does it mean by freedom? What does it mean by child central position? I mean, you always know the way 1986 policy, national policy of education of India suggests child-centered education. That is, in a way, that is the takeaway from naturalism. It believed that, again, naturalism is also believed that education should be accordance to the nature of child. And if child, we need to understand. There is a lot of focus to understanding child. There are a lot of focus on understanding child nature. It advocate creation of natural condition in which development of child can be take place. For example, wait for a minute. We always teach children in a very artificial classroom environment, where one side there are multiple chairs, or sometime carpet are there, students are sitting there, and teacher are standing on other side. There is a blackboard. So this is the constructed kind of environment, whereas the naturalist environment is relatively different. It could be the garden, it could be a playground, it could be the riverside, it could be a farmhouse, it could be a agricultural land, any place, forest, where you can think about the nature of how to bring children close to nature. And so naturalist philosopher advocate to create a natural condition for children. Now we should also need to understand that what is humanism, and what are the basic assumptions of humanism in education. So humanism is a progressive philosophy of life without any theism or other supernatural belief. It also affirm our ability and responsibility to lead ethical life of personal fulfillment that aspire to the greater good. This is the kind of a definition that proposed by American Humanist Association. Let us understand what does it mean by greater good. See, good is a very relative term. It might be a good for me, but cannot be a good for other, or maybe good for him, but cannot good for her. So this need to be understand how it focus on greater good. So when humanism focus on greater good, it means that the good which is mostly acceptable, the kind of universal acceptability that is possible for universalization, the nature and practice that is universalization. For example, if I am speaking lies and you are also speaking lies, then it is impossible, it is irrational that world can function. However, if I am speaking truth and you are also speaking truth, then it is possible for universalization of truth. It is practically possible, but lies is not practical possible. That's why the greater good means that the good practice that can be universalized. Again, the humanist philosopher focus on individual. Humanists reject idea or belief in a supernatural being such as God, and as we told, that humanists focus to seek happiness in their life. There are certain assumptions for education. First assumption, what humanists think so, that free will. They think that learner have to have choice. Learner need to be a free choice to do and think what they want and what we want. So the free will, there is a lot of importance on free will. Then emotion impact on learning. Humanist philosopher are also very much concerned about positive emotional state to achieve our best. If learner feel good and learner be in good emotional state, then it is easier for learner to learn. Then humanists also believe that the rather on thrust something on learner, we need to find way to motivate them. So intrinsic motivation has a great value for education, and we need to find out what could be the best way so that learner can learn, so learner can be motivated. Then it's also believed that all human are good. So these are the some concern help us to formulate how humanistic think about education. Humanistic learning is student center. So student center like naturalism, humanism is also believe on child centeredness and encourage to take learners should take control on education, whatever learner want to do. So it facilitate learner to take initiative. It also encourage student to focus on a specific subject area of interest for a reasonable amount of time that they choose. Humanism is one theory that has been used both teaching and learning. When the teacher or humanist, he facilitate learner. I mean, he try to understand what is the learner choice is, what is the learner belief is, what learner is interested in. So humanism is a belief that the individual have control their own. This is the way that the humanist teacher allow learner, so that learner feel that this is my initiative. Teacher is just here to help me. Given that the reason of intelligence is a man's finest trait, educators should focus their effort to intellectual development. That is another form of a humanist principle. Student learning should be self-directed. That always humanist philosopher will. What does it mean by self-directed? I mean, you can always feel that every student are good in one or two subjects. So, for example, some student may be good in drawing or maybe good in sports, but he is relatively struggling with mathematics and science. So, in that condition, it is important that students should choose not only their direction but also their pace to learning. So, and here we educator, I mean the teacher, should understand where a student can go fast and where a student need more support. So, humanist philosophers are not agree on that. They understand that the evaluation should be self-evaluation. Only self-evaluation can be meaningful. In that condition, teacher should learn how to motivate learner so that he or she can be evaluate herself. Learning process, I mean education, the way humanists define education, for them it's not the result and end goal is important. For them, learning process is important, and this should be must happen in overall non-threatening environment, which is according to humanists our best environment where one can learn. So you can also find that what are the basic principles that humanist humanist philosopher apply in education. So students should have option to picking and choosing what they want to learn. The first, I mean, if a student want to learn math, he can choose math or she can choose math. If a student want to engage with physics, she can engage. We should not focus on force on a student that no, you should also divide adequate time or adequate effort to learn music and social science. I mean, here humanist philosopher allow children to choose. So these are the first. This is the first principle, that the student have option to picking and choosing the subject they want to learn. Education should also stimulate student desire to learn while also teaching them how to learn. What does it mean? I mean, we should not tell a student or force a student to learn one subject, but we make an environment where a student feel to learn, that he feel herself interested in one particular subject. And it's not only that she or he feel to learn, but we should also teach learner how to learn. So it's not only the content that is the choice, but we should also allow children or make capable children or make capable learner that they should learn how to learn. Then humanistic educator believe that the grades which we allotting at the end examination are meaningless. That the only thing that matter in case of learner is that what learner herself think about their performance, their learning. Only if learner believe that I am not doing good, then she may work out or he may work out in the alternative way to learn better and do better performance. The fourth is the both, I mean information, facts, knowledge, cognitive domain, cognitive knowledge, all are important, but same time emotion is also important for learning process. So humanist is not separating emotion from the what we call information or facts are that are being to be learned. In order to humanist also focus in order to ensure learning become easier and more meaningful. They focus that it is important that people feel safe. I mean, if learner not feel safe, they always act under a pressure, then probably they will not learn. Humanist educator believe that school should give people with a safe and secure environments in which to learn. Learning become easier and more meaningful if people feel safe. That is what the humanist philosopher understand. Now coming to the last part of this discussion. So think both on humanism and naturalism, and now it is a task for you. What is knowledge for naturalist and humanist? I mean, what could be knowledge? So I mean, you can find out the way. Naturalist can suggest you to observing nature. Humanist can suggest that probably we need to think about what is the learning process, how a individual constructing knowledge. So idea of knowledge is different in naturalism and humanism. So learner, this is a task for you. Try to list down 2 or 3 form of knowledge which are suit for naturalist and humanist. Then what is the aim of education? And probably you can think about what naturalists think about what could be education, what humanists think about what could be education. We have already discussed. So if you can repeat this video, or maybe you can go to the website and find out what are the aim of education for naturalist and humanist. Now then, how school work? I mean, if we are designing education, then how it's what is the nature of a school? In case of you adopting naturalist philosophy, and in case of you adopting humanist philosophy, as we discussed, I mean humanist philosophy, it should be a non-threatening place. So similarly, you can find out that how naturalist can design a school. What could be the process of learning in naturalism and humanism, and finding what does it mean by learner? How we conceptualizing a learner in naturalist and humanist. So these are the 4-5 points for you to think about for further learning. You can go on website, you can go to the Stanford encyclopedia, you can go to the Britannica encyclopedia, you can find out several other. You can also read work of Rabindranath Tagore, you can also read work of Rousseau, you can also read some recent philosopher like John Dewey, Gandhi, Paulo Freire. You more nuanced way you understand what does it mean by naturalism and humanism. Learner, this is the a very initial introduction for naturalism and humanism. Hope you will go and find out more interesting book in which help you to understand naturalism and humanism. However, I suggest you to please read some of the key writings of Rabindranath Tagore, and also if work for you, you can also read a book by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, that is Emile. So this will help you to understand what is naturalism, and then if you want to understand humanism, you can also go through some of the philosopher of 20th century. Thank you so much.